Hello, my name's Andrew Brooks. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And in this video, we're going to be looking at acetates, test pressings, demos, promos. Hello, and thank you once again for joining me on my YouTube channel. And as I said in my intro, we are going to be looking at acetates and test pressings and demos and promos, but I'll come on to that in a minute. Firstly, big thank you to all the new subscribers. They've gone up again, which is fantastic. If you like my videos, I would really appreciate if you give it a good thumbs up and maybe leave me a comment. I read all comments, and I promise I do respond to the ones that I think need responding. If you're not a subscriber yet, all you need to do is just click this button down here and you will get all new videos as and when they come out. Okay, that's enough of all that. So what happened was, a little while ago I did a video and I mentioned that I happened to have some promo copies and things like that. And away from YouTube, someone actually contacted me and said, you talk about promos and demos and stuff like that. What actually are they? So I thought, do you know what? There's a little video in that, because there's probably people out there who don't really know what they are. And yeah, if you're like me, and by no comparison, my collection is not complete. There's big holes in it everywhere. But when you've got all of the regular UK American albums, singles, and all of that, Beatles wise, which is what I collect, you're then stuck with what do I buy next? And there's little things that you can start picking up on. So such things as, if you see a promo copy of an album that you've already got multiple times of, I buy it again, because it's a promo copy, crazy as it seems. So anyway, let's go back to the band in the studio. They've recorded their masterpiece and they want to have a listen to it at home. So what a lot of studios have, or used to have, was a cutting room where they could take the recording that they've done in the studio, take it to the cutting room, and they would actually make them an acetate recording of what they've recorded. Now, it's by no means the finished mix, and all of that kind of stuff, but it was something for them to take away, have a listen to, and they could then hear how it sounded on a record, maybe go back the next day to make some adjustments and re-record it. So I don't have a lot of acetates. In fact, I've probably only got a couple, none of which are Beatles, well, I'll come on to that in a minute. But the one I have got, though, is this one here, and it was recorded, as you can see, recorded at Abbey Road. I'll show you the disc. It's not in really good condition, I'm afraid. It's got stuff spilt on it, and I haven't really tried to clean it up. But that's an acetate recording from Abbey Road. It looks like some band. I struggle to read it, but it looks like something like Kim Pirate or something like that. And the track was "Don't Want to Say Goodnight," I think is the track. If I hold it up, you might be able to make out the writing. It's getting a little bit illegible now. So it's got the track that was recorded on one side, and then on the other side, as you can see, it's shiny, it's smooth. As you can see my reflection in it, it is smooth all the way through. So as I say, it's got the recording on one side and it's just a blank on the other. Now that is an acetate recorded within the studios in their cutting room. So let's just pop that back in its little cardboard sleeve. There we go. So what happens after that? Well, the band then, they listen to their music and they decide, right, okay, we're going to now put out a single or an album. But we're not going to obviously put out the finished thing. We need to sort of have copies that we can then play to other people to see how they think, what they think of it. And these are called white label test pressing. So they are, as it says on the tin, it is a test pressing. So they generally are white label. Some of them are blank. Some of them do actually have printing on. And all that is for the band to take away, let people listen to it. It's pressed up as a proper record. Now, as I said, I do have several white label test pressings, but I've got one really special one, and I'm not sure whether it's an acetate or if it's a test pressing, so I'll let you decide. It is double-sided, which makes me think it's not an acetate, however. So this is it. It's a Beatles white label, I'm going to go acetate. Why not? Let's go acetate. EMI disc, as you can see, it's got written the Beatles on one side, Penny Lane, and on the other side it's got the Beatles, Strawberry Fields. This is an original 1966 acetate. Now I have played it because as soon as I started telling people about it, it has appeared on previous videos, they're like, is it a different mix? Has it got the trumpet bit at the end of Penny Lane? The answer is no, it's not a different mix. It doesn't have the trumpet bit at the end of Penny Lane. It's no different to your regular released version. So I've played it once, never to be played again. One, because these are quite fragile, the record's quite fragile, they're easily damaged, and also they're not very good for your stylus to keep playing them. So yeah, so I'm going to go with an acetate. I did say I had a couple, that's one of them. White label test pressings, as I said, they do come in just plain white labels like that. Now this is a Paul McCartney proposed single. If I show you close up on the label, I don't know if you can make it out there, it says Paul proposed single. It was a single that was due to be released, never got released. It's a different mix to the album version, which is on Wildlife, and it's Love Is Strange, the infamous Love Is Strange single that never came out, and it was made into test pressings. This is an original 1970s test pressing. There's only two to my knowledge in existence, and I happen to know the other guy who's got one. Hi Peter, or Pete. So I do know the other guy who's got one, and they are unique. Now there is a bit of a backstory to this, and another white label I've got, which I'll cover on another video if I haven't already covered it. Probably already have. So that is a white label test pressing that they would then take away, take home, play on their own stereo, play it to other people, say, what do you think to this? And then they get a bit of feedback. But it's not released. However, I've got a sneaky suspicion quite a few got leaked to radio stations prior to the release of the records, just to sort of give exclusives to certain radio stations like Radio Caroline and things like that back in the 60s. Certainly Let It Be, some of the, if not the album, the single got released way before the actual official release. So still prior to the official release, we have next something called a demonstration record. Now, as you can see, this is on Apple. This is Ronnie Spector's Try Some Buy Some. If you check out the label, the difference to the regular one is it's got a large capital A on this side indicating the A side, and in the middle you can't quite see the word demo because it's on the cutout bit, but it says demo record not for sale, and it's the same on the B side as well, apart from it doesn't have the A or a B. So these were demo records, so these were then played to industry people, radio stations, things like that, just to see if they think it's a hit single or not, I guess. There's a lot of these were pressed up. I've got quite a few of them. A lot of the Apple singles were made like this, especially with the A and the demo record not for sale. You will find different record companies do different style labels. Parlophone, with the Beatles ones, they used to have a white sort of Parlophone label with a big A in green or red on the A side, so they're quite sought after. So that's a demo copy. A promo copy, right? A promo copy is something that would probably get advanced to radio stations, probably sales forces back in the day when they used to have sales reps go out to record shops, and they would often give these things away just to try and get a few extra sales. These tended to be a little bit different. This is an American copy of Ringo's Snookeroo single there. As you can see, it's just a plain white label. It says not for sale on it, and the catalogue number has got a P. Try and get it in focus. P inserted there. Sometimes it's PRO. Other times it could just be a totally different number. It all depends on the record label itself. Also, what used to happen was these were sent out to radio stations prior to release of the single, so they could get a little bit of airplay. On one side it would have a mono copy, mono version, mono mix, and on the B side it would have a stereo mix. This one here just happens to have a mono mix on one side of Snookeroo and a mono mix on the other side of No No Song, as you can see there. But so that's a promo copy, and as I say, that you can usually distinguish them because sometimes the label's different, but also they usually come with a P prefix in it. Okay, what about albums? So albums also get issued prior to release to radio stations and stuff. So here we have a copy of the soundtrack for the Handmade Films Water, which is obviously George Harrison's film company, and he actually appears on this album. Nothing different about this album to the release one, other than it says promotional copy, not for sale, emblazoned on here. So that just is exactly the same as the released album. It's just that these were given away to radio stations and other industry people. I should imagine George had a whole stack of them, and every time someone went around, they got a free copy of the latest soundtrack album from Handmade Films. So that particular one was this is on London Records. Still on the subject of George, here's his copy of Gone Troppo, and just to show the difference in the different record companies, this is Warner Brothers, and up here, as you can see, it says promotional copy, not for sale, in a gold stamp. Other than that, it is no different to your bog standard regular Gone Troppo album, complete with inner sleeve and the usual record inside. Okay, couple of other things I'll show you before I wrap it up. So advanced copies were also sent out, as I said, to sales reps to try and boost sales within record shops, and also advanced copies were given to record shops to try and play maybe in the background during the sales pitch. So here we have one of McCartney's albums called Flowers in the Dirt. Comes in this rather nifty sort of VHS style box, and as you can see, it's probably a cassette, and you're quite right, it is a cassette. So this was sent out to shops and sales forces around the country. Comes with a very nice fold out sort of concertina thing, all about the different tracks. These are quite scarce. I've only ever seen, I think, probably a couple of these in all my time at record fairs and things. If you see one of these, pick it up, because cassettes are making a comeback. I'll never play this though. I've got the vinyl up there. Okay, one last thing to show you while on the subject of sales forces and salesmen going around record shops. So here we have Paul McCartney's Press to Play album. This is the cover for it. It's a slick, so there's not an actual record inside it. On the back, however, we do have plenty of blurb about the album, track listing, where it was recorded, who the artists are on it, and a bit of information. However, this was actually sent out from EMI to its sales forces. So it comes with a letter. Here we go. That's the letter there. I do get complaints that I don't show things long enough, so I'm going to sort of move it up a little bit there. I'll read it to you anyway. So this is to all regional managers sales force from Jeff Revell. And it says, Paul McCartney White Label. The white label you have received of the Paul McCartney album is to be treated with the utmost care. Under no circumstances is it to be left anywhere, and neither is it allowed to be taped for any reason whatsoever. We have been given these in confidence that they will not be used for any other purpose than that of playing to your dealers, i.e. record shops. Each one has been individually numbered with your own area. Please ensure that the above is complied with to the letter, ensuring no broadcast. I may have to call them all back at the end of the sell-in period. Regards, Jeff Revell. So that's the letter that accompanied that slick. Also with it was, I can up there. So this is sort of like a bit of information about the track listing. There's some blurb at the bottom there. I'll hold that up so you can try and read that if you can. So it sort of gives running times of the tracks, and there's like sort of extra information on there about publishing, things like that. And it is actually labelled at the top, album label and cut in order, and it is number 9. There we are. So that this slick and letter pertain to copy number 9, and here is copy number 9. So this is the white label test pressing of Paul McCartney's Press to Play album, As you can see, as I've explained, they are just exactly the same, just with a white label. Some are handwritten, some aren't. This has just got number 9 on it. Interesting fact though, the Press to Play album had a little change. They put a different mix of the track Press after it had been issued, like 2 weeks later. So all the later pressings had a different mix. This has got the original and better, may I add, I think, in my own opinion, a better mix of Press. Hopefully that's helped a lot of people. I'm no expert, so I apologise if I've got any information wrong. I'm no expert on acetates and test pressings. It's just something that I collect, and I was probably aware then that people weren't actually sure what was the difference between a demo and acetate and things like that. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Please drop me a line, drop some comments. If I think it needs a reply, I will reply. Probably by now you're getting some videos up here of things that I think you might also like to watch. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.